The Mvskoke Creek Nation Executive Branch has had an eventful June, which has seen an executive order to revoke the Oklahoma City Indian Community's charter, as well as an extraordinary session of the National Council to address closure of the Riverspirit Casino. Mvskoke Vision sat down with Chief Floyd to speak about what led up to these actions and what the future holds for both issues. The first question, I wanted to talk about the Oklahoma City Indian Community Charter.
Okay.
What led up to the executive order revoking their charter?
The Oklahoma City Community Association situation, I guess I put it that way, has been developing over the past year or so. We did not get a 2017 or 2018 audit, which is required under the code. We gave them an extension in December of 90 days, and so we got partial information around the last of March, first part of April. As we did the internal audit, we discovered some discrepancies that were significant and continuing. So we felt that at this point, to safeguard the resources of the nation, still allow the community to function, but under our direction, we felt that under my authority that was given to me by the National Council, that I needed to invoke the action that I took. Fortunately, we've only had to do this a couple times. So we revoke the charter. You basically release the officers of the community, and community research and development then becomes the direct operator of the community functions. And so that's what's in place right now. The nation owns the assets. We own the building, the property. The resources that were given to them were both community research and development, community operations funds, as well as a loan from the National Council from approximately almost a year and a half ago. So that's separate than our activity, but it's all included in the resources that go into the Oklahoma City Community Association. So prepared the proclamation on that, and we took the action. And so community research and development staff today are making sure that events that were scheduled there are still being held, and meetings that the community members want to have are held. And so I think we'll continue on that until such time as we can organize the community again with the community leaders, get either a new constitution or hold an election for new leadership, monitor their performance, and then turn that back to them.
Okay. So what's been done in regards to the community since that executive order? You kind of touched on what the plan is for the future there, but as far as the seizing of the assets and all of that stuff, is that stuff already taken place? And I'm assuming, I know you probably can't make a comment on it, but would citizens expect criminal charges from any of this stuff, or see anything go through the tribal court?
Well, the first thing that was done was that we went in and did an inventory with the community leaders at the time before they were released, to make sure that we had an actual accounting of what was there in terms of any money that was on hand. The inventory, because they had several businesses there, detailed inventory of all their inventory, the assets of the equipment, and we made sure that all those things were accounted for before the changeover was made. Now, in terms of what goes on in terms of any investigation by any entity, since they are a state LLC, that's going to be determined through the Attorney General's office and the district attorney with the Oklahoma County. So, that doesn't include me or any of my staff. So I really can't say what's going to be happening there. The information that we have would be available to anybody who would investigate it. But again, being very cautious and trying to protect the resources of the nation is really what drove our actions.
And just to clarify for the audience, there's, in addition to when you say state LLC, in addition to them having a charter with the Creek Nation, that they have a separate LLC with the state of Oklahoma. Is that correct?
Right. I think they have at least 2 limited liability corporations registered with the state of Oklahoma and probably licensed in the county, Oklahoma County.
Okay. Great. Okay, let's change over and we'll talk about the Riverspirit situation with the flooding. So, right now, what have you kind of been briefed on the financial impact from this for the nation? Are services going to be impacted? Is the budgeting of any departments going to be impacted?
Well, first of all, I think we were fortunate that the disaster that hit us in Tulsa County was, I guess, limited in terms of damage. Yeah, significant because we had to close, but in terms of the physical damage, we actually persevered this thing pretty well. So the experience is continuing as we continue to ramp up to reopen Riverspirit. The reports that we've had from the engineering firms have all been positive. We've not had any structural damage. The physical damage to the gaming floor was zero because the water was underneath it. And so basically it's a cleanup operation. But that costs money to clean everything up and reopen it. Plus you have the lost revenue from being closed. We believe, though, in terms of being fortunate, that that's going to be limited in scope. And earlier this week, I had called an extraordinary session to support Riverspirit in their payroll because of the assets we have there, the individuals, is a tremendous value to the nation. And so we wanted to make sure we didn't lose them as we were closed. We had the support of the National Council members, and my office, and gaming as well. However, when we did meet and talk about it, gaming felt that several things were, this is an evolving situation. So as of Monday night, they felt that they would be opening sooner. We don't have a date yet, but originally we had set July 1st. We should have an announcement maybe as soon as tomorrow when they actually will open. And they felt that on hand they had cash to carry them one more pay period. And after that pay period, then they will be reopened and their operating revenue would then pay their payroll as it normally does. And so in that regard, I think we dodged a big financial issue because of the timeliness of getting things reopened. And so that bill was pulled and we didn't have to act upon that. And all parties agreed upon that, myself, the National Council, and gaming advised us of their situation. And so, I think the appropriate action was taken. Again, we've been very fortunate. The visuals of it, I think, are quite compelling. You look at it and think, oh my goodness, this thing's fallen apart. But when the water receded and we had the engineering firms come in, our staff going on site and cleaning things up, the damage was minimal. So we were very fortunate. It's just that, the time to ramp up to get things reopened is, the thing that's probably most telling at this point at Riverspirit.
Awesome. You actually covered my next question about the situation with the extraordinary session where they passed the tribal resolution to suspend all appropriations, but then they postponed the thing. So you explained that. I've pretty much got everything that I wanted to get. Is there anything you'd like to add to the situation as far as I know you don't have an opening date. This is one of the things I was discussing with everybody back at Mvskoke Media is, when that was happening, the local news has helicopters and they show the outside of the building, but nobody's getting the inside, what it looks like on the inside. And that's the stuff that really citizens, like what you were just saying, is like that you can see that it's not as bad as it looks from, the flooding looks from the outside, right?
That's correct.
It would be awesome if when we got closer, I want to try to get in touch with Pat Crofts and see if we can get a tour, and so kind of to tell everybody, hey, come back, it's open ahead of schedule, etc. So
one of the things that we will be doing is making an announcement publicly. I'll be up at Riverspirit, maybe even today, but for sure tomorrow, meeting with them. And we want to do exactly what you just asked. We want media to come in. We've had the mayor there, U.S. representatives, representatives from senators' office. And so they're all aware of that. And I think one thing that was made very clear to everybody who came in was the significance of Riverspirit in the Tulsa economy. When they started looking at all the people that were not working and the income, not just to the employees that was in jeopardy, but all the businesses that we, give money to and buy products from, that's significant in Tulsa economy. So there's a lot of interest from elected officials of how soon will this reopen, because there's a pinch in this economy, and your business there is a big impact. And so we got a lot of respect from them in terms of, we need to help you to get this reopened, and they've been very supportive. We want to invite them back in. We've had them in several times. I think the governor's been there at least twice. Mayor's been there, city council, county commissioners. Everybody has looked at it, and we reassured them by walking on the floor that there was no water in the building. And I think the staff of Riverspirit did an amazing job. And I know there's several nights there, I didn't get much sleep. They got none. And the initiative they took to come back to work, that was their place. The ownership by the employees is amazing. They wanted to come back to work. They were willing to do anything, even outside the scope of their regular jobs, just to contribute to getting us safe and maintaining the building, and then to reopen. So the response from our own staff has just been outstanding. We couldn't ask for anything more. They meet every morning and then lay out their work. And so I think the teamwork they have there is just amazing. And so a lot of credit goes to them. I think we'd be in a much worse situation if they didn't have the camaraderie and teamwork and the commitment that they do. So, my hats go off to them. It's a great experience when that people are focused on getting the business reopened to serve people.